channel. I'm Jules, short for Julie, which is short for Juliana, which is short for Juliana Banana. But that's not my real name. My real name is Juliana Bandanovich, and this is my YouTube channel where I help you figure out these tricky junior soldier prep lessons. Because, as you can see, I've pretty much got life figured out.
YouTube. YouTube. Yeah.
Today's episode is all about the church, which is why I'm dressed like this. Obviously. This is my church. Well, at least it's what my core is gonna look like one day. Right now, we don't exactly have a building, per se. You see, it's not so much a physical location as it is a storefront between Eustace's used books and Super China yummy takeout between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. on alternating Sundays. We're a work in progress, but that's okay. Church isn't about the building anyway, right? At least that's what my core officer says. Plus, we get half off chicken chow mein on the weekends. And that's way better than wooden pews, if you ask me. So let's jump into it. So, you might look at me and think, wow, Jules, you're so brave. You've done such a good job being a faithful servant to the Lord while having so little. You don't even have a real church to go to. And you're not wrong. Not having a permanent church building isn't always sunshine and chow mein. But we sure do get creative about how we do things. Because we can't have any weekday activities here at the core, we host Bible study here at my place. Auntie makes the best biscuits from scratch, which makes the whole building jealous of our Bible study because it smells so good. That's actually why our neighbor Mike started coming to Bible study in the first place. His name's not really Mike. My auntie said that I'm not allowed to use anyone's real name in case this thing goes viral. At Bible study, I'm in charge of collecting the codes and taking them to Auntie's bed. Then I have to be very quiet, particularly when they're praying, which is really difficult, especially when you have so many interesting hobbies that require a certain decibel count like I do. But that's not the only way we have church. A whole bunch of us kids meet up at my friend, Jimmy's house. Yeah, Jimmy. His place is huge, and he's allowed to have as many friends over as he wants, whenever he wants. Well, maybe not whenever he wants, but it sure feels like it. Anyway, we all go over to Jimmy's house and do youth group on Friday nights. We used to do junior soldier prep, but now we do more grown-up stuff. You probably wouldn't be interested in the specifics. But basically, it's my favorite day of the week because I get to connect with my friends and our youth group leader is so funny. We also do this fun thing when the weather is nice, where we go to the park on a Sunday afternoon with the whole church. Everyone brings something different to eat, and there's always tons of leftovers. It's like the story of the loaves and the fishes. We sing songs, we give offering, we listen to Captain Bob. Captain Bob gives the longest sermons ever. He just goes on and on and on, and I never understand what he's talking about. But my grandpa is always in tears by the end, so it must be something sad. Honestly, I probably could pay a little more attention to the whole sermon part. It's just so difficult when all I can think about is going to junior church with the other kids. That's where I really connect with God, you know? Look, I don't want to get all sappy here, but my junior church leader, Mrs. McSparkle. Yes, she's amazing. She really cares for us and remembers everything that's going on in our lives and all our prayer requests. That's my favorite time of junior church, when we get to pray together. I've seen so many answers to prayer. It's like supernatural. So, we find lots of ways of having church and encouraging each other without ever even using a special building. But when we do get our special building, which could be any day now, maybe even when we reach our self-denial goal, it's gonna look something like this. I've drawn up some blueprints here that I'm gonna hand over to the CO. I know budgets are tight and architects are expensive, so I'm just trying to do my part, you know? So, this is a bird's eye view, like looking down onto the building from the sky. I just realized this would be God's view of our core. Poetic. So, this is the entranceway. This is where Captain Bob would greet everyone as they came in and make sure they feel welcomed. I'll probably join him right here, because I like to make a good first impression too. I want to make sure everyone feels like they have a place in our fancy new building. Because what if it looks like too good? What if people come and they think the place is too fancy for them? Ugh, I would hate that. I may have gotten carried away. So, we had the entranceway, and now this is the sanctuary where we all gather, so it should be really big. At the front here is the mercy seat where people can go to pray. It's basically just a big wooden bench. There's nothing special about it other than it's a place to pray. Like, on purpose. Here's where we keep the offering plates. Wait, did you guys learn about offering yet? Tithes? Did you know that 10% of an allowance of $5 a week is 50 cents a week? I do! And every week I see that 50 cents of mine being put to good use. I heard that at Thanksgiving we served dinner to 100 people from the community. So here's where the flags would go. We've got the Salvation Army one here and the country flag here. And here's where Officer Ben, no, Captain Bill, Brian, Bilbo, Bob, Captain Bob would do his preaching. You know what? Officer Betty should do the preaching in the new building. I've got to make a note to tell the Corps Council about that suggestion. Lady officer appreciated in new building. Where were we? So, we have the sanctuary there, and this is a fun little room, the nursery. This is where I would get to help out with the really little kids, even smaller than you guys. We'll need some squishy floors so they don't hurt themselves, and lots of colorful toys. I might have a few kicking around to donate. And this room here would be the youth room, where we would have junior church and Bible study and junior soldier prep classes and dance and drama and band and singing company. Okay, we're gonna need to make this way bigger. So that's the basic idea. I'll be sending off the blueprints to our CO before the end of the fiscal year. You know, budgets and whatnot. So, if you didn't get the message by now, the lesson today is that the church is not about the building. It's about the people. See ya!